Right now, your car might be dying and you don't even know it. Not because it's old, but because of what you're doing every single day. These 10 habits are the difference between a smooth ride and a scrapyard bill. And the craziest part? Most drivers ignore them until it's far too late. Most people think oil changes are just a chore, but skipping them is like asking your engine to chew gravel. The oil inside your engine isn't just for lubrication. It cools, cleans, and protects every moving part. When it's fresh, it acts like liquid gold, but leave it too long and it turns dark, sticky, and acidic. That gunk eats away at your pistons, bearings, and valves, slowly killing your engine from the inside. And here's the worst part. Most car owners don't even notice until it's far too late. Manufacturers usually say to change the oil every 10,000 to 15,000 kilometers, or once a year. But if you drive mostly in the city, lots of short trips, stop-and-go traffic, you'll need to do it even sooner. Ignore it, and you might hear ticking sounds when the engine idles, or worse, the dreaded oil pressure light. That light isn't just a warning, it's the final alarm. If your engine's oil is too old or too low, the damage has already begun. All it takes to avoid this nightmare is a bit of consistency. Check the dipstick once a month. If the oil looks black or feels gritty, change it. Replace the oil filter at the same time. Don't cheap out. A dirty filter blocks the flow, meaning fresh oil can't reach the parts that need it most. Use the right grade too. 5W-30 is common, but your owner's manual will tell you exactly what's best. And if you're using synthetic oil, don't assume it lasts forever. Stick to the interval. A routine change costs a few pounds, but if the engine seizes up, you're looking at a repair bill that can hit £3,000 or more. Coolant keeps your engine from turning into a kettle. No exaggeration. Run an engine without enough coolant and it'll boil itself to death. Aluminium heads can warp, gaskets can blow, engine blocks can crack, and it usually starts with one small leak or an ignored warning light. You might see steam from the bonnet or smell something sweet. That's not perfume, it's trouble. Stop immediately and let the engine cool. Then check the reservoir and top up with a 50-50 mix of antifreeze and water. Just make sure you use the right type. Don't improvise here. Next up is brake fluid. Unlike coolant, this doesn't just leak or burn. It absorbs moisture silently over time. That means the fluid inside your braking system might be slowly becoming useless, even if you haven't touched it. Spongy brakes, longer stopping distances, or a flickering brake warning light? These are your early signs. Top it off with the correct DOT-specific fluid, but also plan to flush the system every 2 years or so. Brake repairs aren't just expensive, they're life-saving. And then there's your gearbox. If you drive an automatic, CVT, or dual clutch, your transmission fluid is under extreme pressure. It should be pink or red and smell neutral. If it's dark or burnt, your gearbox could be overheating, one of the most expensive parts to fix in a car. Some cars let you check the transmission fluid with a dipstick, others don't. Either way, check your manual and don't just assume lifetime fluid means forever. It rarely does. If you ignore this, you might start feeling rough shifts, slipping gears, or jerky acceleration, and that's when the bill starts climbing fast. Power steering fluid might seem minor, but low levels can make your wheels stiff, noisy, or unresponsive. If you hear whining when turning or feel vibrations, check the reservoir. Top it up with the right type and don't mix brands. And don't overlook the fuel system. Petrol and diesel cars need clean fuel to perform. A clogged fuel filter can cause weak acceleration, misfires, or make the engine struggle to start. Replace it at the interval listed in your manual, usually every 40,000 to 60,000 kilometers, but it varies. All these fluids, coolant, brake, transmission, power steering, and fuel system work together. Ignore one, and it puts pressure on the others. One leak or missed top-up can create a domino effect that shortens your car's life drastically. Tires might not seem exciting, but they decide whether your car grips the road or slides into the ditch. They're the only contact point between your vehicle and the ground, so they deserve more attention than most people give them. A well-inflated tire doesn't just feel smoother, it grips better, handles turns more safely, and helps your car burn less petrol. Bridgestone even said that properly maintained tires are key for safety and fuel efficiency. It only takes a couple of minutes a month. Just grab a tire gauge. Some cost less than £5 and check the pressures when your tires are cold. Your car's manual or the label inside the driver's door will tell you the correct pressure in PSI or KPI. Don't forget the spare if you've got one. If the pressure is too low, the edges of the tire wear faster. Too high? The center wears out and your ride becomes harsh, especially on uneven roads. Now here's where most people go wrong. they forget to rotate. If you drive mostly in the city, your front tires take most of the beating, steering, braking, and sudden turns. So every 10,000 to 15,000 kilometers, swap the front and the back. This simple habit can double the lifespan of your tires. Skip it and you might be replacing front tires way before the rear ones. Worse, you'll start feeling odd vibrations or your car might start pulling to one side. That's not just annoying, it's dangerous. Look at your tires often. If the tread is below 1.6 millimeters, you're legally required to change them in the UK. An easy way to check? Push a 20p coin into the tread. If you can see the outer band of the coin, your tire is too worn. Also look out for bulges, deep cracks, or embedded nails. A sudden thump or strange wobble could mean a puncture. If you hear a flapping noise, your tire could be breaking apart from the inside. Stop and check immediately. Neglecting tires doesn't just wear them out, it messes with your suspension, eats up more fuel, and can lead to serious accidents. On the other hand, just keeping them properly inflated can boost your miles per gallon. That means saving money at the pump, or extending the range if you drive electric. Most people who ignore their tires end up replacing them way too early or worse, paying for costly repairs when suspension parts give out. A few minutes a month can save you hundreds of euros in a possible breakdown on the motorway. Your engine needs clean air to breathe, your lungs need it too. That's why the air filters matter. It catches all the dust, grit, and debris before it can get into your engine's combustion chamber. If that filter clogs, your engine can't breathe. It struggles, burns more fuel, and wears down faster. Champion Auto Parts even says changing a dirty filter boosts fuel economy and lowers emissions. It doesn't take a mechanic to fix this. In most cars, you just pop the lid, slide the old filter out, and slide a new one in. Most filters should be changed around every 20,000 kilometers, or even earlier if you drive in dusty areas. If you ignore this, even a tiny particle, something the size of salt, can scratch your pistons or cylinders. That means expensive engine damage that could have been prevented for less than the price of a tank of petrol. There's more than just the engine air filter. There's the cabin filter too. That's the one responsible for the air you breathe inside the car. If you're sneezing all the time or your heater feels weak, this might be the reason. It also protects your heating and AC system from clogging. A clogged cabin filter means weak airflow, moldy smells, and eventually a stressed blower motor. Swap it out once or twice a year and you'll feel the difference every time you turn on the fan. Now for diesel drivers, there's usually a fuel filter as well, sometimes with a water separator built in. When this clogs, you'll notice it. Reduced power, rough idling, or the engine not starting at all. Most diesel fuel filters last between 30,000 and 50,000 kilometers, but check your car's schedule. Replacing it early only costs a few euros. Ignore it, and you might ruin your injection system. That's a massive repair bill for something that takes 15 minutes to change. And then there's the oil filter. Every time you change the oil, you must change the filter. No excuses. It's like a sieve that catches metal shavings and dirt from the engine oil. Keep the old one, and it keeps circulating the junk. A fresh oil filter keeps your engine clean and healthy. It's a small part with a big job. Don't cheap out here. A few extra pounds now saves your engine later. Pay attention to the signs. If your fuel economy suddenly drops or the engine feels lazy, the air or fuel filter might be the culprit. If the air filter from the vent smells bad or blows weak, check the cabin filter. Most of these jobs are DIY friendly. You don't need a garage appointment, just a few spare minutes and a new filter. Ignore them, and it's either more money wasted on fuel, or worse, internal damage that piles up slowly and painfully. Most people think taking care of their car just means getting it serviced every few months, but the truth is, how you drive every single day has just as much impact, if not more. Your habits behind the wheel can quickly wear down your engine, brakes, and transmission long before any mechanic gets a chance to help, and you might not even realize it until the damage is done. Let's start with something so basic it often gets ignored: smooth driving. You might think revving the engine hard, braking late, or gunning it up a hill shows power, but to your car, it's abuse, especially when the engine is cold. Imagine forcing someone to sprint the second they get out of bed. That's what your engine feels when you floor the pedal without warming it up. Instead, ease into it, accelerate slowly, change gears at the right time. Use the tachometer to keep your revs in a comfortable range. No need to scream down the motorway at 5,000 RPM when 2,500 will do it. And it's not just about acceleration, braking habits matter too. Coasting is your friend. If you can see a red light ahead, don't keep your foot on the throttle until the last second. Let the car roll, then brake gently. This saves fuel and prevents your brake pads from burning out prematurely. Riding the brakes or slamming them every time you stop is a fast track to an expensive repair. Especially on hills, use a lower gear to control speed, not your foot constantly pressing the brake. And whatever you do, don't rest your foot on the pedal. Even a little pressure keeps the pads engaged and heats them up. The heat ruins your brakes long before their time is up. The same logic applies to how much you carry. Extra weight stresses everything. Tires, suspension, fuel economy, even your brakes. Got a full boot with tools you haven't touched in 6 months? Ditch it. Carrying unnecessary stuff is like making your car run with a weighted vest. And roof racks? Unless you're actually using them, they just drag. Get rid of them when not in use. Now let's talk about the road itself. Ever fly over a speed bump or ignore a pothole because you're in a rush? Bad idea. That one jolt can bend your alloys, snap your suspension, or wreck a steering arm. Every time. Taking a bump at 10 miles an hour might feel slow, but it's nothing compared to paying hundreds for a new shock absorber. Always slow down or drive straight over bumps. Don't hit them at an angle or with one tire. Your car is always trying to tell you when something's wrong. You just need to listen. Warning lights aren't suggestions. They're your car's emergency signals. That check engine light? It's not just a random glow. It could mean a loose petrol cap. Or it could mean your oxygen sensor's failing, your engine's misfiring, or your catalytic converter's about to die, a part that can cost over £1,000 to replace. If the light is flashing, pull over immediately. Driving like that can destroy your engine. And then there's the oil pressure light. That one means danger. Low oil pressure means your engine isn't getting the lubrication it needs. Keep driving, and you could destroy the whole thing in minutes. Same with the temperature light. If your engine's overheating, stop. Now, warped engine blocks don't come cheap. Even your brake warning light isn't just about the handbrake. It could signal low brake fluid or a system fault. Keep going and you might find out the hard way what brake failure feels like. It's not fun. And if your car starts making strange noises, don't ignore them. A ticking sound could be low oil. A clunk could be suspension damage. A hiss could mean a leaking vacuum line or radiator hose. Even that high-pitched squeal you hear when braking, that's your pads begging to be replaced. Early warning signs aren't just nice to fix, they're red flags. Fix them now and you save yourself from a disaster later. Want an easy trick? Keep a cheat sheet in the glove box with all your warning lights and what they mean. Or better yet, just learn the key ones. The difference between a glowing light and a flashing one could save your engine and your wallet. Because here's the truth, people don't wreck their cars all at once. They do it in tiny moments. A handbrake here, a late gear shift there, ignoring a light for weeks. It adds up. Then one day, the engine dies and it's out of the blue. But it wasn't. Your car tried to tell you. You just didn't listen. Most people think keeping a car looking clean is just about pride, but that shine might actually be saving you thousands. Dirt, road salt and pollution aren't just ugly, they're corrosive. They sneak into wheel arches, cling to the underbody and eat away at metal like acid. Especially in places with salted winter roads or coastal air, that grime turns deadly fast. Britons often notice rust creeping into the arches or along the sills. That's not bad luck, it's neglect. Washing your car regularly, especially underneath, flushes out all that salty, gritty film before it causes damage. Do it often in winter, not just when it looks dirty. Even better, waxing twice a year forms a protective layer that blocks moisture and pollution. You don't need to be fancy. A £10 wax kit from your local shop can stop rust from forming and stop you from needing a £1,000 repair job later. Now, here's what many forget. The inside matters too. Spill a coffee, leave a wet umbrella on the seat or drag snow in with your boots and you're quietly rotting the metal underneath. Once carpets stay damp, the floor pan starts corroding from the inside. Replace old floor mats, dry the cabin if water ever gets in. That musty smell? It's not just annoying, it means something's decaying. And cracked plastic or sticky buttons often come from interior humidity too. If you've got a garage, use it. If not, even a cheap car cover under £50 can help. It shields your paint from the sun, your glass from frost, and your body panels from bird droppings and tree sap. In winter, avoid parking on untreated streets where snow and salt gather. Just choosing a clean driveway over a slushy curb can make a difference. The wrong fuel can ruin an engine faster than bad weather ever could. A petrol engine can't run on diesel. A diesel engine won't tolerate petrol. It's not just a hiccup, it's often catastrophic. Misfueling can lead to engine misfires, stalling, or even full system failure. And even if you use the right type, quality still matters. If your engine's designed for premium petrol, don't gamble with low-octane fuel. Engine knock, also called pinging, quietly eats your pistons and valves. That damage doesn't show up overnight, but it always shows up eventually. For diesel drivers, there's another silent threat: water in fuel. It corrodes the injectors and ruins fuel systems. That's why swapping out the fuel filter on schedule matters so much. And don't forget AdBlue. It's a urea solution that helps reduce harmful emissions. Run out of it in newer diesels, and not only will your car violate emissions rules, it may not even start. Top it up like you would wash a fluid. It costs pennies a day and saves you from expensive headaches. Even petrol and diesel cars rely on batteries. That little 12-volt one under the bonnet is the reason your engine starts in the first place. If it's old, corroded, or drained, you might find yourself stuck in the cold one morning, engine turning slowly, or worse, not at all. Most 12-volt batteries last about 5 to 7 years. After that, they get weaker. A simple test at any garage will tell you if it's time to replace it. Now, if you drive a hybrid or EV, the electrical system becomes even more important. These cars have massive high-voltage battery packs, and if you mistreat them, the price of repair can be eye-watering. Think 2,000 to 5,000 euros or even more. But the good news? These batteries don't wear out quickly if you follow a few basic rules. Don't always charge your EV to 100%, and don't let it drop to 0% either. Keeping it between 20% and 80% most of the time is ideal. Use regenerative braking when your car recovers energy while slowing down to ease the load on your brake pads. But here's the catch: don't rely on it all the time. Press the brake pedal every now and then to help the brake system adjust and prevent rust from building up, especially if you're in a stop-start city commute. Heat is another silent killer. If you live somewhere hot, don't leave the car baking in the sun all day. A shaded parking spot or cool garage can make a real difference. On the flip side, in winter, plug your EV in even when you're not charging. This allows the battery heater to kick in and keep the battery at the right temperature. Most modern EVs even warm up the battery if you put a charging station in the sat-nav before setting off. It may sound like a small thing, but it's a big deal for battery life and charging speed. If your EV starts giving you warning lights or suddenly loses range, don't ignore it. Check the car's battery health through its onboard system if available. For regular petrol or hybrid cars, a weak start or a battery icon lighting up on the dash usually means the 12-volt battery is on its last legs. And one last thing, if you drive a plug-in hybrid, remember the petrol engine still needs attention. Let it run once in a while. It keeps the oil moving, prevents carbon buildup, and helps charge the 12-volt system. Many people forget this and end up with a petrol engine that won't start when it's finally needed. In short, treat your car's battery with the same care you'd give the engine, because whether it's big or small, if that battery dies, you're not going anywhere. It doesn't sound exciting, but it's the single most important habit to keep your car running like new. Every car comes with a service booklet or digital schedule that tells you exactly what needs doing and when. Usually by distance, like every 10,000 kilometers, or by time, like once a year. The problem is, most people either forget or delay it, especially when the car seems fine. That's a mistake. A quiet car isn't always a healthy one. Timing belts, for example, often need changing between 100,000 and 150,000 kilometers. Ignore it, and it could snap, wrecking your engine. That one delay could cost you thousands. And spark plugs? They wear out between 60,000 and 100,000 kilometers. Let them degrade, and your car starts burning more fuel, shaking on idle, and stressing the ignition coils. All fixable now for cheap, but a nightmare if left unchecked. You don't need to be a mechanic, you just need to follow the schedule. A full service might cost 150 euros now, but it prevents 5,000 euro repairs later. Think about transmission fluid. If you skip it, gears start slipping and jerking. Coolant? If it gets old, your engine can overheat. Bushes in your suspension. Cracked rubber leads to alignment issues and uneven tire wear. Mechanics spot all of this early if you go in regularly. And here's the underrated tip. Keep a record of everything. Create a folder or use an app. Save each receipt. Note the mileage and what was done. This helps you keep track, but it also helps sell the car one day. A buyer sees those records and knows you cared. You'll get a better price and a quicker sale, guaranteed. Even if your car doesn't complain, stick to the schedule. Check those belts, Flush the fluids, inspect the brakes and hoses. It's the little things that avoid the big disasters. Don't wait for the check engine light. By the time it comes on, damage is already done. Think of your car like a living thing. If you water a plant every few days, it thrives. Skip it for a week or two? No problem. But leave it untouched for 6 months and it's done. Cars work the same way. A little care often is far better than waiting for something to break.